everybody. Welcome to another episode of Connect with KB. This is Kristen Belzer, and I'm so happy to have you with us. We're going to talk about business this morning. We're going to talk about education, leadership, and all the great things that kind of drive our community and connect us to each other. My guests today are providing a lot of opportunity at the Michigan Chamber of Commerce as they engage members and create business value that exceeds expectations. They're providing new connections and serving as trusted advisors to businesses large and small. I want to welcome to the podcast Amanda Toy and David Brownback. And Amanda, I'm going to start with you. You are the Senior Director of Corporate Sponsorships at the Chamber. Welcome, and tell me the Amanda Toy story.
Thanks for having us, Kristen. So Amanda Toy here from Michigan Chamber. So happy to be here today with you and David Brownback. I always like to introduce myself and say I'm a Sagittarius and I love long walks on the beach, but I'm not sure if that's where we're going with, so we'll go a little more concrete. But yeah, I'm a Michigan native here from Southeast Michigan, Macomb County, and moved here after a short stint in Chicago. Graduated from Michigan State University, go Green.
You betcha.
And settled here with my family about 10 years ago, and happy to be here with my 5 children and my husband, and really like to be involved in the community through some different organizations. Our kids are really engaged in school and us on the school board, and just really in love with #LoveLansing.
Well, you know what, Amanda, I know that you are a CEO already because you're one at your home. And when you've got 5 kids, you are running a large operation. So I'm glad to have you here this morning. David Brownback, Business Solutions Sales Executive at the Michigan Chamber. Tell me your story.
KB, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be here. And I'm a Detroit area kid. Went to school at Michigan State. So again, go Green.
Go White.
And living in Lansing now for 30 plus years, I think I have to start saying I'm a Lansing guy. So excited to be at the Michigan Chamber. It's my 3rd year. Being a Michigan guy, I wasn't looking to move, and the career I was in said, let's head to California. So there's some great opportunity at the Michigan Chamber of Commerce for my role, and we've had some great success in my short time.
Well, you have great relationships over at the Michigan Chamber. We're going to talk about that in just a couple minutes, but I want to talk a little bit about this incredible journey that the Michigan Chamber has had during the pandemic and keeping members informed and engaged. And I got to see it firsthand in regards to how quickly the team was able to really pivot and make opportunities for members to really learn about how they could navigate the pandemic and COVID and keep their businesses afloat. And so I'd like to talk a little bit about that. And I'll start with you, Amanda.
Absolutely. You know, when you work at the Chamber, your goal is to engage your members to, our mission is to protect, connect, and strengthen our members. And COVID, oh my gosh, what a whirlwind. And thank God we just changed the button on our homepage, so we're reopening now, and we aren't just this toolkit, but thousands and thousands of personalized phone calls, 2 million hits on the website. And we could not get the information out fast enough to our businesses. I mean, just drowning in, okay, what is this rule and what is that rule and how do I navigate this? So it was a hard time for the Chamber, but it was also a really inspiring time for our team to be able to really live out our mission.
Well, Dave, you know this, as the guy who has that day-to-day contact with members, were you being proactive or were they reaching out to you, or was it just a mix of everything?
Yeah, I remember it was right around St. Patrick's Day of 2020 that I like to say Michigan stopped. Right. Certainly the world did, but Michigan stopped. And again, that's what we're focused on, being the voice of Michigan business. But whether you were a one-person architect firm in Traverse City or your General Motors, we had to close business. And so that prompted several questions of varying degrees to the Michigan Chamber saying, am I an essential business? And why am I not? Can I be an essential business? What do I do with my workers at home? Can they come into the office if they need to be? So the rules that were put in place were unclear. And so our members and even prospective members sought clarity during the pandemic and even up to today on what they can and can't do. And so it was inspiring to see how quickly the leadership at the Michigan Chamber created access and aggregated information from where to buy personal protective equipment. Again, just aggregating that and sharing with folks, even those who weren't our members. We just wanted to be a resource of good information. And And we did a great job doing that.
Well, you know, I have a long history with chambers of commerce, and I've always been a big believer that there is so much value for businesses and employees and employers to be a member of the chamber, but no more so than during the pandemic when they just had to. I mean, that value to me in the membership investment that they make really just, it paid dividends over the last 12, 18 months now. And give me a couple other specifics about what you were hearing from members and how you went about helping them fix something.
Yeah, there's a couple great examples, but I'll give you one. And KB, this is my elevator pitch when I talk to some folks and they say, you know, can you tell me about the Michigan Chamber? And I say, well, we're most notably known for the work we do at the state capitol on behalf of Michigan businesses. And what does that mean? Well, we're there to promote good public policy and help job creation. And somebody will say, well, what does that even mean? And I say, well, we believe that in free enterprise, we believe that when it comes to making decisions about your business, you should be the one making those decisions. And directly tied to COVID is there were some rules put in place and that were unclear, that were maybe in conflict to what certain guidelines were. And we had a win recently where some the Michigan Occupational Safety Health. Yeah, the MIOSHA, I think that's why we have an acronym for that. They had some rules that were potentially going to become permanent, but with thousands of business leaders answering our call to say, hey, make your voice heard. Don't sit back on this one. Share what impact this could have on your day-to-day operations. Based on that call to action, those potential permanent rules are no longer going to be put in place. So that's a big win for what we do. That's how we prove we're effective.
Well, without question, you know, I am a big believer and fan in the team over there, the advocacy team, including Jim Holcomb and Wendy Block and Dan Papineau and Mike Alimo and the whole entire team over there. And the Michigan Chamber has been known as, you know, that voice of business, and really with such a heavy emphasis on advocacy. But I also see the opportunity for members to, and especially small business members, to really find that opportunity to work with the Michigan Chamber in regards to networking opportunities, money-saving opportunities, other things that are going to really fulfill them in terms of engagement. Let's talk about that. Amanda, share some of your thoughts.
Absolutely. You know, chambers, I think, they have this, especially the state chambers, this big stigma of advocacy. And it is. I mean, when I'm a business owner, or I am, like you said, Kristen, working at a small business, I don't have time. I may not have capacity to make sure that the policy that is being supported or fought in Lansing, Michigan at the Capitol building, I need to trust someone's going to do that for me. And that is something that is a vitality linked from us to our members at the Michigan Chamber. But again, what they're concerned about is, do they have the workforce they need? Do they have people to show up when they can reopen? Do they have the information they need on navigating all of these laws and following all of these rules? And something that really speaks to me is when I get a phone call from a member, and I had one just last week, and they said, I want to thank you for two things. I want to thank you for that amazing Athena program I just sat on, because I am inspired and my team is inspired. And that's what leadership is. It's inspiring my team members. And you have done that. And that will help in productivity in my office. And secondly, I want to thank you for that member-only call that we just had to help us figure out what the heck is going on between all these different state departments and what we're supposed to do or not do, right? Because we don't want our hands slapped. We want to make sure we are following the rules. And she said, and I quote, I have been through so many webinars, Amanda, over the last X amount of months. And I am so grateful that the Michigan Chamber is able to really just bring it to a point, tell me what I need to know in a clear, concise way so I can get off and say, I have less questions now than I did 60 minutes ago. And for us to be able to provide that to our members who probably feel like they're drowning on some days and everything they're supposed to be navigating, is really, I think, a blessing of what we do. And those are the kind of calls that I love getting. And I really appreciate when people are able to reach out and articulate that to us.
Well, one of the things that I think people don't realize when you have a statewide chamber like the Michigan Chamber, you're going to have the big companies. You're going to have the Dows and the Consumers Energies and the DTEs and all of those folks. But it's the little guys who sometimes need the most help that, if they've got 1 to 50 employees. And David, you must talk to those people all the time. Mm-hmm. And really, when you talk a little bit about an elevator pitch, what is it that you would say as you're courting small business members to get engaged in the chamber? And I guess one of the first things is you find out what they need. Okay, so it's an assessment of them, but it's building the relationship too.
Yeah, well, Amanda said it, that when you're in the business of making widgets, and you're a manufacturer, or you're in Muskegon, or you're a daycare center in Manistee, you're not able to, and you don't have the resources to have a full-time lobbyist on your team, or you're not afforded the time to learn about every initiative that's happened at the state capitol. So we're your eyes and ears to make sure you can operate your business freely, that, again, the decisions you make are yours. But oftentimes, our advocacy is not the reason why, when I'm talking to a company, I would ask them to make an investment. And I use the term investment because I don't take asking somebody to join an organization or believe or invest in our visions if you can't find a return on that investment. And so I ask them to market carefully how we measure that. And so I say, be engaged. And we have policy committees. We have wonderful training and education opportunities. Certainly being challenged over the last year. Yeah, we did have a lot of webinars, and we're very confident in our ability to get back to face-to-face training and education. But every business, large or small, certainly the smaller ones, is struggling right now with new hires, entry-level talent. Why is that? Well, that could be a whole nother show. Mm-hmm. But we listen well. We're good listeners of the Michigan Chamber, so we're tackling that head on. And we're beta testing a technology platform to connect high school and trade school aged young adults directly with employers who are seeking to start their career without going to secondary education. So we constantly listen and we adapt, and there are a lot of reasons. Again, engagement, training, business savings. Some are simple, some are complex, but we're a great place to start and stay connected to when it comes to running your business, well beyond what we do at the state capitol.
Well, Tammy Smith has done a great job this year in all the webinars that she has been able to provide for members, the amount of people that have engaged. And I think that they really, just like you're saying, they find great value in that. As the Michigan Chamber kind of goes this year and starts to change a little bit, with Rich Studley leaving after 40 years and Jim Holcomb becoming the president and CEO of the Chamber. And Jim is just such a great guy, and he's got a little bit different personality than Rich Studley, but he is going to do a great job there in that leadership role. And, the rest of the team I've seen evolving as well. The Chamber's growing, adding new people, a lot of power behind the leadership team, including Bob Thomas, John Zimmerman's there doing the great marketing. How do you guys see the team getting stronger?
So we're in a new age at the Michigan Chamber. It's a new chapter. It's a new day, right? And I think that we have an opportunity to innovate and to grow. And, when you talk about diversity, I think it's just as vital to bring in people who have, the opinions of people who have been there for 20, 30, 40 years, and have that into, institutional knowledge, and bring in the new blood and bring them together and say, let's talk about what we've done and what's been great and what needs to continue and what do we need to do? How, like David said, how do we need to adapt? And this is a new age of the Michigan Chamber, and the energy from the team is absolutely outstanding, Kristen. And I'm so glad that we are all part of this. Because the vision for us over the next 5 years is not only membership growth and engagement growth, but really going next level on how we can do the protection and the connection and the strengthening of Michigan businesses. And that's the cool opportunity with being a state chamber, is that we get to work with all industries from all over the state. And anyone who knows Pure Michigan knows that we've got urban, we've got rural, we've got suburban, we've got a little bit of everything. And like you said, small businesses and large businesses. And there is some real beauty in that diversity. So we're really, really excited about the future for the next several years here at the Chamber.
Give a little plug to the Chamber and about how to get engaged with you, members. How can somebody get connected to you guys?
It's very simple to go to our website at michamber.com. There's great resources in there. Don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call. I know that's old-fashioned, talking on the phone. We also know how to text and tweet and Instagram and all the other things. But check in with us. Ask a simple question. We're here to listen. We're great listeners.
Well, I know that you guys are, and I so appreciate you both being on with me today. I want to thank my guest, Amanda Toy, Senior Director of Corporate Sponsorships, and David Brownback, Business Solutions Sales Executive for the Michigan Chamber of Commerce. I also want to thank my supporting sponsors, Marketing Resource Group, Downing Industries, Governmental Consultant Services, AF Group, AT&T, the Michigan Chamber of Commerce, and the Fraser Law Firm. You can listen to all my podcasts at connectwithkb.com. Until we connect again, go live your best life. I'm your host, Kristen Belzer.